All right, Aquarius, so this week from Lay Vampire, you pulled natural, authentic, real, and organic. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled dissipating. Now, natural, I love from Lay Vampire. The blessing here says, when you take away the trappings of money, power, and status in the world, you are left with the things of spirit, and you are rich in the ways of the soul indeed. This creates a balanced, centered, strong core. Now, working with this card says there has been an over-reliance on ways of identifying who you are. Whether you have categorized yourself by a job, your appearance, personality, or wealth and background, it is time to go beyond this to who you truly are and know yourself from the inside out. And then when you look at that with dissipating, basically it's saying you're procrastinating on your dreams because you're letting something else identify who you are. The inspiration says, beware of being imprisoned by the story you tell. Do you intend to do what you say? The personal question says, a lack of planning does not indicate misfortune. Am I doing what I say? The key ideas are taking action, content to dream, going in circles, strong intelligence, making excuses, and procrastinating. So for some of you, it may just be that, your dreams are passing you by because there are other things that you are relying on now to identify who you are. And basically it's saying that, now is the time to stop procrastinating. Do what it is that you want to do. Be true to yourself. All right, Aquarius, here we go. Here's the energy coming through. Oh boy, getting right to the point, aren't we? The Two of Cups. So this has to do with a relationship. And this can be romantic. This can be, a partnership that means a lot to you. It could be a couple of different things here. But, when you're looking at the Two of Cups, it's two people. It is two people so wrapped up in each other that nothing else exists. You're sharing everything. Feelings, thoughts, ideas, and it's being bounced back and forth, back and forth. So let's see what is going on with this relationship. Now in the past, the Two of Swords. Everybody's needing to make some decisions, boy, I tell you. So now the Two of Swords is the past coming through, immediately says to me needing to make a difficult decision. Now, whether or not you've done that, we'll see. But, for some of you, it's a difficult decision regarding a relationship. Very nice. Very, very nice. And, that's perfect for you. The Ace of Swords in the present moment. Truth and clarity, absolute mental clarity. And for a lot of you, it almost feels like speaking your truth in a relationship, where I think before, when you're looking at the Two of Swords in the past, it's not just needing to make a difficult decision. It's also protecting yourself, guarding your heart, right? And for some of you, it's coming out of that and knowing what the truth is for you in regards to a relationship. Future conditions, look at that shit. You're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine. The sun is good. Truth, and having this revitalized energy within a relationship, things being clear for you, absolutely clear with the sun. It looks great. It does. Now, I feel like just looking at the sun connected with the Two of Cups, this is a really important relationship. But this looks good. It looks really good, Aquarius. I think you guys are going to be fine when it comes to your relationships. And for a lot of you, it could just be that you're getting a lot of clarity on what it is that you want from a relationship. And now it's like rejuvenating you. You feel a little bit more, ready to go when it comes to going after what you want out of a relationship. But the sun looks great. Woo, your best path to follow, the Page of Swords. Now, that bothers me. The Page of Swords, when you're looking at it, it does have to do with being smart and being intelligent with whatever you're dealing with, but it is talking about conflict because it is the messenger of conflict. What comes from the Page of Swords is usually the shit you don't want to hear, you don't want to deal with. The other thing is For me, looking at the Page of Swords, there's a question of truth, but you have it. You know, and for some of you, if you're dealing with conflict surrounding a relationship, it's just asking for you to deal with it with intelligence and grace. And you have that. That's not an issue. But, you know, on the other hand, if you're dealing with, you know, storytelling, bullshitting, you know, that may be an issue with a relationship. But you know the truth. You know the truth. I think it's just asking you to deal with it with, you know, intelligence rather than like getting caught up in it, basically. You know, I'm not seeing this as like a really horrible thing, but I worry about the Page of Swords. Like, what the hell? You know, everything looks great, so why should there be conflict surrounding a relationship? In your environment, the Empress. Now, that looks fantastic. It does. Abundance, right? And you look good. You do. You look fantastic with the Empress and the Ace of Swords. Hell yeah. You know, now for some of you, this may be, you know, a relationship with a mother, you know, the Empress being the mother figure, right? There may be a little bit of conflict surrounding that. Maybe, you know, some clear, truthful communication is what's needed. But it doesn't look bad. And as far as you guys, you know, in terms of a relationship, it looks really good. Really, really good. But, you know, there may have been some difficulties surrounding this. You know, looking at the Two of Swords and the Page of Swords. But damn it, everything else looks really good. Really, really good. Your hopes and your fears, the Two of Pentacles. Now, you know, I kind of have a feeling here that for some of you, it may be a situation where, you know, you may be having to deal with, you know, truth in a relationship, but then also dealing with the conflict, maintaining the relationship, maintaining this beautiful abundance. But then on the other hand, some of you may be dealing with a mother-in-law. I don't know why that came up. You know, but looking at the Two of Pentacles is basically saying that you have the ability to maintain everything that's going on. It's just, when do you get to the point where you're like, fuck it, you know, and you let something go? You know, I don't like the balancing act and having to do a balancing act within a relationship. You know, and maybe for some of you, the difficult decision was, you know, needing to choose somebody, right? So you're not juggling two different relationships with the Two of Pentacles. But, you know, I feel like more than anything, you're wanting to have a really good connection. You're wanting to have a beautiful relationship. And it's there. It's just that there's some other things that are like, you know, chaos surrounding it. But it's not anything that you can't manage. But the question is, you know, do I want to continue to manage the craziness that may be surrounding a relationship? You know? Oh! And it looks good. It does. It looks good, right? The Queen of Cups. Now that's different. Water and air usually don't mix very well when it comes to, you know, those kinds of relationships. Because water signs tend to get a little stupid. We like to let our emotions dictate what we do. Air signs are a little bit smarter about shit. You know, they think a little bit more clearly, where we're all fucked up over our emotions. Now, some of you, this could definitely have to do with a water sign, but the sun is shining on this. That's the thing. So if you're dealing with, you know, a water sign coming out here, this person may be a little bit emotionally clingy. Possibly for some of you, but it looks good. And for some of you, this just may be a really great friendship with somebody that is dealing with a lot of shit, and you may be juggling their shit right now and trying to help them work through it. You're coming in with the truth, trying to help them out. But if you're dealing with a water sign, I'm telling you, with the sun being there connected to that Queen of Cups, it looks good. She looks good. You know, but there may be shit surrounding her that, you know, you're questioning on whether or not you want to keep dealing with. And again, you know, male or female, general reading, right? But, you know, this is somebody who may not have like complete control over their emotions. You know, I'm not seeing her as a bad thing at all. It looks really good, but there's conflict that may be surrounding her, you know? And basically, it's like Spirit saying, hey, you know, you're going to have to deal with this. You're going to have to cut through this crap and see the truth, which it's there. It's there. And with the Empress being there, you know, it looks good. An abundant, happy relationship. There just may be a little bit of bullshit surrounding it, but she looks good. He or she looks really good. An inner power. Hell yeah, you've got some inner power. With the sun shining on you, you're good. Sorry about that, Aquarius. I swear to God, I'm plagued by technical difficulties. This time I forgot to check my battery. But anyway, now, truth, action, and inner power. You're going to have to take action on something here. And it may be, you know, needing to take action on whether or not, you know, this is something that you want to continue to deal with. Or you're going to have to take the action to stop whatever nonsense may be surrounding a relationship. But you are coming in with the truth, absolutely. All right, guys, now we're going to take a look at the romance angels to see what's going on for you guys in terms of love. You know, looking at the Empress, though, in your environment, very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now, and give your relationship a chance, work on your partnership. Yep. So very soon here, you're going to have to probably start taking some action. But I really do think that, you know, whoever this is coming out looks really good, especially with the sun being there. I think you're just going to have to decide on whether or not you're going to deal with the conflict that's surrounding the relationship. All right, Aquarius, so this relationship looks like it's really important, and it looks really good, especially with the sun shining on this. And this person coming out looks really good connected with it as well. Now, for some of you, you know, this may be a relationship with a really important female in your life, and it may be the mother figure. But on the other hand, I keep seeing the Empress for you guys, and I feel like there's a need for you to be nurturing, but then needing to deliver maybe some harsh truths here. Now, for a lot of you, you know, the difficult situation is going to be whether or not you want to continue to deal with conflict that is surrounding a relationship. And, you know, I think you see clearly through it, you know, especially with the sun being there. There's no doubt you know exactly what's going on. But I think for some of you, it's going to be up to you to take some action on this. You know, do you continue to sit back and just kind of manage all this crap, or do you start taking action here to deal with this? So you're not left like juggling out the conflict surrounding this relationship and, you know, maintaining this nice balance within a relationship. You know, you have the ability to manage all these things. But if you're dealing with, you know, a situation where there's a lot of conflict surrounding a relationship, you know, what do you do, right? And the reason why I say that is because of the Page of Swords. I see somebody who is constantly on their toes, having to deal with stuff coming from all sides. And again, messenger of conflict, right? Now, inner power and truth. The truth is your inner power. And that's what you have. You have the truth. You have clarity. And that is what's going to help you make the decisions on what action to take, especially, you know, with conflict surrounding a relationship. Because it's important to you. With it being the signifier, this has a meaning, importance to you. But, you know, I just think that for some of you, it's like, do I deal with this or do I not deal with this? And then for those of you who are in a relationship, forgiving and learning very soon and giving your relationship a chance, right? Very soon here, something's going to change. And it's going to be up to you to take action here, but you're going to have to give the relationship a chance, right? But forgiving and learning for the singles now. There's something in the past that needs to be let go of so that you can move forward with a new relationship. But, you know, Aquarius, when it comes to natural and dissipating, right? Natural is talking about the things that we use to identify who we are. And it's saying that there's no reason to rely on that. And if you continue to do so, your dreams and your desires may just be passing you by, because you might be too focused on what it is that does define who you are. So you need to be natural. You need to be true to yourself, and you need to, you know, do what you say you're going to do, right? Especially when it comes to what you're wanting to do for you. But I do think that in terms of a relationship, ultimately you're going to have to decide. on whether or not you're going to sit back on the sidelines or if you're going to take some action regarding the conflict that's going on in this relationship.